right, good evening and many thanks for joining us this evening. Of course, we have much and more lined up for you this particular broadcast, but first, our top stories tonight.
Tonight, tough times ahead. Kenyans decry 16% value-added tax a day after members of parliament passed the controversial bill. Simple yet expensive. Special Senate committee shocked by Siaya Deputy Governor chair that cost taxpayers 1.2 million. Joy at last. Government released 16.7 billion over 1 million beneficiaries of Inua Jamii Cash Transfer Program. Also tonight, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua flag off the World Rally Championship as Ot Tanak kick off with the fastest time.
I'm not alone. I'm in full company of SAMMY OKELLO as our sign language interpreter tonight. My name is AUMA Evans. Remember, we are live on YouTube and you can tweet us on Twitter at KUTV_Kenya at AUMA Evans. Remember to use the hashtag Primetime News. Now we begin our story where today morning a session of the National Assembly dwelt on the 4 bill that propelled the management of public fund just a day after the finance bill sailed through the same house. And as our very own Edward Nyamu reports, the lawmakers emphasized the need for accountability to ensure that the money disbursed satisfies the need of the common mwananchi.
A day after the third reading and the final vote on the finance bill, the members of parliament took to the floor to discuss the 4 bills that will facilitate the allocation of public funds. The 4 bills, which include Supplementary Appropriation Bill, the Equalization Fund Bill, County Allocation of Revenue Bill, and the Appropriation Bill, raised different remarks from the MPs who want accountability to guard the disbursed funds from management.
That the role that we are playing on behalf of this House, we are playing it thoroughly. We are going to scale down on borrowing because we cannot contemplate a matter where, or a situation where, our country descends more into debt. So I want to give assurance to these members. Part of the reason we are bringing this supplementary is because we would rather postpone some development other than get into a hole that is actually hazardous.
According to the legislators, corruption is a hindrance to the country's progress and must be countered lest it brings down the government. Additionally, the members of parliament have pleaded with the government to deal with corrupt government officials.
It is very clear out there that the government is not going to tolerate any misappropriation of public funds. These are public funds meant to serve the public of the Republic of Kenya, and therefore I would actually support His Excellency the President that if anyone is caught trying to misappropriate the money or in any way misapply the money, then the whip must be cracked and that person must be immediately dealt with so that the confidence of the public can be restored that their money is at all times secure. I have gone through the bill and each of the state departments has its own allocation. Let the department actually do what they are supposed to do with this public money under this particular law.
On the other hand, members of parliament highlighted that the government should ensure that foreign loans serve the purpose for which they were taken to prevent the government from paying loans that have not been used according to agreements reached.
The same is also true for a government. If there's a lot of corruption, a lot of stealing at the highest level of the government itself, like what we have experienced for the last 10 years under Jubilee government, then of course the consequences becomes very bad. But if you're going to change that and have a serious prudency in the management of public finances, then we can go on an ambitious infrastructural development in this country and put up industries and do all sorts of things to make sure that we have an economy that is growing and growing at a very fast rate.
A lot of the conversation going around about the wastage and privilege, the hemorrhage, the resources that we are collecting, so that we want to come to a level, a situation where all this is taken care of, the leaks are sealed, so that what is meant for this country comes in, is accounted for and used for the purpose for which it's intended.
Equalization Fund is expected to fund basic services including water, roads, health centers, electricity in marginalized areas as a way to bring the quality of these services in those areas at a standardized level in comparison to their more developed counterparts. Edward Nyamo, KUTV.
And Siaya Deputy Governor William Oduol today took to the stand to defend himself against the allegations that led to his impeachment when he appeared before the Special Senate Committee handling the impeachment. Oduol defended the impeachment grounds and instead offered counter-accusation against the Governor James Orengo administration. Senators also got a chance to fill a 1.2 million shilling presidential seat reportedly acquired for the Oduol's office. Let's get more from our very own Patrick Oduor.
The Deputy Governor of Siaya, William Oduol, today appeared before the Senate Committee for the second day of hearing as he took the witness stand to defend himself against the allegations that led to his impeachment.
Welcome you back to the resumption of proceedings of this sitting.
Sold as a power duo that built Siaya, Orengo Oduol ticket won easily, but their split followed in quick succession. Oduol revealed that he made enemies upon questioning suspicious withdrawals of county funds amounting to 107 million shillings over 3 months. This money, Oduol claims, was withdrawn between November 2022 and January 2023 by the acting finance chief officer, Jack Odinga. The deputy governor says that he raised the issue with Governor James Orengo in January. It was at this point that their previously amicable relationship morphed into enmity. He was then barred from attending cabinet meetings. In a peculiar twist during the impeachment trial, senators were treated to a first-hand experience of the luxurious comforts associated with an extravagant chair worth 1.1 million shillings, reportedly acquired for Oduol's use. The chair, which was wheeled into the Senate, left the senators with laughter, marveling how simple but expensive it is. Should the Senate uphold Oduol's impeachment, Siaya County will have a vacancy in the office of Deputy Governor for the first time. Patrick Oduor, KUTV.
Right, thank you very much, Patrick Oduor, for that comprehensive reporting. Elsewhere, the government has released 16.7 billion to over 1 million beneficiaries of Inua Jamii Cash Transfer Program. The fund will cover for the months from November 2022 to June 2023, which are in arrears. Dorothy Musyoki reports on a day that Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua gave his assurity that the fund had already been released by the Exchequer.
The government has released through the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection 16,725,856,000 shillings for disbursement to 1,072,226 beneficiaries enrolled in the Inua Jamii program. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua says that this is in line with the government's commitment to support the most vulnerable Kenyans.
We know we've had arrears that we have not paid from November to date, and we are happy to say that those funds are now ready. Government has released, Treasury has been able to give us 16.7 billion.
The Kenya Kwanza administration remains committed to supporting the most vulnerable members in the society who deserve to live a dignified life. We continue to implement the cash transfer program, popularly known as Inua Jamii, which provides bi-monthly stipend to cushion beneficiaries from poverty and vulnerabilities. This is aimed at improving their livelihoods.
11,185,000 shillings will be paid as a top-up for beneficiaries under the Nutrition Improvement through Cash and Health Education NICHE complementary program. Deputy President Gachagua added that the payment will be made in 2 rounds.
In addition, 11,185,000 will be paid as top-up for beneficiaries under the Nutrition Improvement through Cash and Health Education complementary program.
Gachagua also revealed plans to put up measures that will help increase enrollment to the Inua Jamii cash transfer program to 2.5 million beneficiaries in a span of 2 years.
In line with the bottom-up economic transformation agenda better, the government is undertaking various strategies to revamp the cash transfer programs for elderly and vulnerable households to improve operational efficiency, accountability, and coverage.
The disbursement follows wide cries by the elderly Kenyans who had called upon the government to release the Inua Jamii funds in order for them to cater for their needs, among them medical bills. Dorothy Musyoka, KUTV.
Alright, from Deputy President to the Head of State, President William Ruto has, I beg your pardon, I'll take it again. President William Ruto has used the Global Financing Pact Summit to step up bilateral cooperation between Kenya and United Nations countries. President Ruto has struck a deal with Colombia to explore the new areas of cooperations between the two countries, including trade and agriculture. All this happened on the sidelines of the 2-day Pact Summit in Paris, France, where the head of state championed for the new equal institutional architecture for multilateral climatic change.
The 2-day Pact Summit in Paris, France is halfway done. President William Ruto has used the forum to forge productive bilateral relations between Kenya and developed nations. Talks held between President Ruto and Colombian President Gustavo Petro saw the duo strike a deal to work together to explore new areas of cooperation, such as trade and agriculture. Colombia is one of the world's top coffee producers, and Kenya intends to draw lessons from their production and value addition in a bid to research and improve exports. On the sidelines of the summit, which seeks to look into transforming financing architecture for climate action, Ruto also discussed Kenya's universal health coverage plan with the former World Health Organization Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom in a general move to uphold welfare and support more livelihood. President William Ruto vowed to advocate for new institutional architecture for multilateral climate finance in the Pact Summit in a bid to reimagine the global finance system and foster the creation of a more inclusive financial architecture. In his presentation today, Ruto stated that Africa needs a new financial model where power is not in the hands of the few, emphasizing that the financial architecture must be of equals and resources neither controlled by the World Bank nor the International Monetary Fund. The Pact Summit also uses the opportunity to table serious actions to protect health from climate crisis. Joseph Oyomo, KUTV.
Right, Kenyans are expecting to dig deeper into their pockets following the passing of the Finance Bill 2023 by the National Assembly. Approval of 16 value-added tax on petroleum product is expected to further raise the cost of living. Opposition outfit Azimio la Umoja One Kenya has called for consultative meetings with their supporters next Tuesday at Kamkunji grounds to announce their next plan. The bill now awaits presidential assent before it becomes law. Joseph Case now reports.
Finance Bill 2023 now awaits presidential assent after sailing through third reading in the National Assembly late last night. The passing of the finance bill will see Kenyans incur more costs on the fuel products following approval of the increment value-added tax levied on petroleum products from 8% to 16%. The proposed housing levy has, however, been amended and reduced from the initial 3% to 1.5%, while the tax for content creators has been reduced from the initial 15% to 5%, among other amendments. However, a section of Kenyans who spoke to KUTV have decried the passing of the finance bill, saying more proposed amendments should have been considered, the most prominent being the fuel VAT.
On the 16% VAT on fuel, literally, I don't know the reason as why they proposed that, because even the 8% now, as the common wananchi, we are feeling the heat, and it's just still at 8%. Now this 16% that has already been passed. You know, the one thing about fuel, no fuel cuts across all sectors. So one thing, it will affect many sectors, and but our fear is that even after this cash is raised, even after this money is raised, will it be in safe hands? Because we can decide to feel the pinch, but we can decide to accept it.
Tungeomba ingewezekana hiyo VAT ikuwe tu ile ya kawaida tu, hiyo bill isiende, yani waangalie wafanye some amendment za vitu zingine. Juu kama mafuta ni kitu very essential kwa vitu za kawaida, za vitu za hii Kenya. Juu ukipandisha mafuta kila kitu imepanda, huwezi kufanya kitu yote, bei imepanda, yani inapandisha kila kitu.
The Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition, through a statement released on Azimio TV Twitter account, has lamented over the passing of the Finance Bill 2023, terming it a contempt budget. The statement reads in parts, "We say pole to the millions of Kenyans who are struggling to come to terms with the harsh reality. We know many of you think this is a nightmare that will fizzle out. Unfortunately, it is here with us and here to stay unless we act now." End of statement. The coalition has now organized a consultative meeting scheduled for Tuesday next week at the Kamukonji grounds.
Kenyans are expected to dig deeper into their pockets following the passing of the Finance Bill 2023 in Parliament. What remains now is a presidential assent, after which it becomes law. Joseph Kess for KUTV, Roysambu constituency, Nairobi.
Right, it is 18 minutes past the hour. Time to take our first break here on KUTV Primetime News. When we come back, plenty more to follow, including the squabble in County Assembly. Stay tuned.
Kuruzi ya kilimo huimarisha afya na uchumi endelevu katika jamii. Ni msingi mkubwa wa kipindi Boresha Kilimo. Kipindi hiki kinajikita katika teknolojia ya kisasa, utafiti na ushirikishaji wa wadau wa kilimo kuonyesha shughuli mbalimbali shambani. Kwa suluhu ya utoshelevu wa chakula, tazama Boresha Kilimo.
Repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more, only on Law Matters.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
The folks are going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
People power si vuguvugu. People power ni idea.
Tazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni duniani leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
This is my jam down. I said my name, I will never give up. Na hata nikisota away. Show me something. Everybody wanna feel like me. You is like a river. Real thing, if I never mama, I wouldn't believe it. Hear me when I say just like.
Right, welcome back. Now, the First Lady, Rachel Ruto, has today presided over a training session on table banking for the Joyful Women organization at State House, Nairobi. She encouraged the women to start table banking and indulge in business, and furthermore to apply and use their hustler fund to proceed to upgrade their lives. The First Lady challenged the women to actively seek available jobs, further expressing her intent to help the women by empowering them and being there for them.
Sababu kina mama, hii mambo ya table banking, ukichukua pesa mpaka uende ufanye biashara. Kwa table banking, najua hatuna bodi yetu hapa, lakini huwa tunasema kwamba table banking ni kama hii mkono wako. Unaona? Hii vidole ni tofauti, si ni kweli? Tunasema kwamba hii kidole ya kwanza ni saving. Kufanya nini? Kusave. Ya pili tunasema ni kufanya nini? Kuomba ama kukopa. Na hii ya tatu ni kufanya nini? Kufanya biashara. Tunaelewana? Hii ya nne ni kufanya nini? Kurudisha.
Right, now let's cross over to Meru County. Members of Meru County Assembly have suspended indefinitely the operation of their chambers over the row with the Salary and Remuneration Commission, SRC. MCAs countrywide have termed the 10,000 shilling salary increment offer from the SRC as some mockery. Meru County Assembly suspension is the latest in a string of county assembly shutdown across the country. Boneno Weru with more details.
Meru County Assembly members are the latest to join the fray of indefinite closures. MCAs around the country have objected to a proposal by SRC to increase their salaries by only 10,000 shillings, complaining that at an 86,000 shillings monthly salary, they are even less paid than their staff. The offer, they say, is a mockery.
In fact, most MCAs have fled from their homes because of the demands of the populace, and therefore it is only fair that they are remunerated well.
Announcing the MCA's affirmation, Meru County Assembly Leader of Majority Evans Mawera added that downing tools was their last resort after SRC ignored their pleas. The local leaders want Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua to intervene in the tussle for a better remuneration package.
Na kama nilivyosema pale bungeni, sisi hatuna mtetezi, sisi hatuna mtu kututetea sisi. Sisi tunatetea wananchi, lakini sisi hatuna mtetezi. Kwa hivyo mtetezi nambari moja wa MCA ni MCA mwenyewe.
Yesterday, a similar motion of adjournment was unanimously passed in the Uasin Gishu County Assembly, MCAs they are granting in a similar way of poor wages.
And also the Deputy President has maybe will indulge himself in this issue because currently he ends the devolution docket. A review of our salaries is the condition that we are given to come back to them.
While the ultimatum by the County Assembly's forum elapses in 3 days, SRC has remained silent on the matter and is yet to issue any commitment to yield ground and ratify the MCA's demands. Muneneweru, KUTV.
Salome Wairimo Mihia Beacon has officially been approved by Parliament as the Principal Secretary of State Department for Correctional Services in the Ministry of Interior. Salome was nominated by President William Ruto after the resignation of her predecessor P.S. Esther Ngeno on the 23rd May 2023 due to personal reasons. The nominee was vetted by the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee chaired by Honorable George Muragara, and she has since been an advocate of High Court for the last 26 years prior to her nomination as Principal Secretary. Now, teachers in Beere, Embu County are taking a stand against the female genital mutilation, that is FGM, in the area through the Beacon Teachers Africa organization. They plan to educate children and the community about the importance of reporting cases of FGM. The organization emphasized the community role in ending the practice, which is often coupled with the teenage marriages and negativity affecting girls' child education.
Teachers in Mbeere, Embu County have taken on the responsibility of combating the rampant cases of female genital mutilation. Operating under the umbrella of Beacon Teachers Africa, the teachers want to use their numbers and distribution in almost every village in the area to wage war on FGM, as it affects the education life of many young girls who have fallen prey to the retrogressive culture. Dr. Joan Mwanda, the Beacon Teachers Africa CEO, says plans are underway to educate both children and the community on the need to report FGM cases, emphasizing the community's crucial role in ending this harmful practice.
And for those cases that are still undercover, because we know some of the parents, they sell their children, the neighbor is aware but is not speaking about it, a classmate, a teacher is aware but is quiet. Let us not be silent. Do not be silent when these things happen.
The organization will collaborate closely with the local community to tackle FGM and the associated issue of teenage marriages, which adversely affects girls' education. Apostle Faith Wairimu, the organization's president, stresses that teachers will play a vital role in raising awareness about the dangers of FGM, highlighting the lasting trauma and health complications suffered by affected children.
It is a community effort. It's going to take a community effort for us to address the FGM issue. And again, to say that this is 2023 and there are some cultural practices that are not gainful, they are not meaningful, and they do not build stronger children for us.
Female genital mutilation has severe effects, including complications when giving birth and in some cases death during the cut. Yvonne Kemuma, KUTV.
Alright, we are due for yet another short break. When we come back, plenty more to follow. But remember, you can follow this particular broadcast on all our social media platforms, and we are live on YouTube. And you can tweet us at KUTV_Kenya, at AUMA Evans. Remember to use the hashtag #PrimeTimeNews. See you in a bit.
Technology, science, innovation, ICT and research. These are the ingredients upon which the solutions to the 21st century problems are founded. In a world that is rapidly changing, it's all hands on deck to ensure a balance in all fields of life. We women, young and old, are also in the front line, breaking the glass ceiling, becoming thought leaders in the larger tech space. Not forgetting other societies marginalized. And when the tech Avengers come together, we inch closer to a much safer, efficient, and sustainable world. What we view as a norm in today's advanced world was just an idea, and for nostalgic reasons, we trace back the iconic days to bring you the retro tech. On Tech Innovation Show, we encapsulate all the pillars of the fourth industrial revolution, decoded in a language, all for one for all. Every Monday at 8:30 as we push the mantra, keep learning something new each and every day. Only on KUTV, a new experience.
Kipindi hewani ni mitindo ya kipwani. Kama ilivyo kipindi hiki kinahusu nyimbo za tarab, chakacha, midwara, midundiko, bila kusahau mapishi. Ambao ndio uti wa mgongo wa pwani ya Afrika Mashariki.
Jamani swaibu zangu mliopo maskani, hatuonani wenzangu, najua mwanitamani.
Hapa KUTV, nahoda mwendesha chombo cha baharini, yani ua linalunukia na kuvutia waridi tamu.
What are some of the ways through which you can develop these skills so that you are comfortably fitting into the job?
You have to put yourself in positions where you are uncomfortable in the sense that you are not clear about what to do.
Because I used to work a corporate job before. So when I left, I happened to visit someone's farm around this area.
So this project is called Security Breach Detector and Readiness Familiarize. It is meant to be used to detect, detonate explosives.
We'll tackle all the tough issues, discuss all the weird moments, and hopefully share a few laughs along the way.
Tunaweza kuanzisha miradi yetu ambayo ingetusaidia kubadilisha maisha ya wazazi wetu.
Kwa vijana wenzangu wengi wana kazi, lakini ikiwa sisi wenyewe tutajiamini, tunaweza kujiajiri wenyewe.
Afrika kwa kweli tuna mahitaji ambayo ukiyasuluhisha unaweza kuathiri watu kwenye bara hili
bila woga. Watu huwa na uzalishaji zaidi, wanajawa na ujasiri, wanakuwa wabunifu na wanakuwa wenye maarifa.
Niliamua kuacha kazi, hata kama sitafanikiwa, nitakuwa nimejaribu, nitakuwa najua haiwezekani.
Hakuna kitu cha ajabu hapa. Kila anayepata ufanisi hufanya kazi usiku na mchana.
Kitu kitakusukuma na kuwezesha kupata maarifa ambayo hukuwa nayo.
Tunajaribu kutengeneza kitu kitakachopita mipaka ya nchi hii.
Ikiwa unataka kubadilisha ulimwengu, anza na nyumbani.
Right, welcome back and let's move on. Unemployment has been a big challenge in the country, with the youth being most affected by the economy phenomenon. Despite this being a frustration to the most Kenyan youths, some have embraced creativity and self-employment to earn a living. Meet one Dennis Karimi from Syokimau, Machakos County, who is a glass artist through his art. Karimi, popularly known as Deno Cool on social media, repurposes waste glass bottle into reusable household item. Elid Mutiri unpacked this feature story for us.
Unemployment is a challenge that bites many Kenyan youth. However, some youth have decided to face it head-on by coming up with creative ways of earning a living. We meet Dennis Karemi, a glass artist who transforms waste glass bottles into reusable household items like wine and water glasses, flower vases, candle holders among others at Karim Glass Solutions in Syokimau, Machakos County.
So mimi naitwa Dennis Karemi na kwa socials naitwa Denokuri na nafanyanga kazi ya glass solutions, like anything to do with glass. So kuna glasswork and then kuna bottles kama extension ya glasswork.
Dennis tells us that his family has been involved in glassworks for more than 2 decades, but he started glass artistry or bottleworks as he calls it by luck in 2017.
2017 hapo ndio tulianza the first orders za bottlework. Zilitupata tu tukifanya kazi ya glass. Someone just came with a few bottles alikuwa anataka kukatiwa, and since duka yetu inaitwa Glass Solution, we really had to solve that problem for that person.
Various items are made out of the glass waste, although Karemi says it is the end user who assigns value to the product or determines the end product, since in one instance he made a vase but it ended up being used as an aquarium.
Tuna transform hizi bottles zinakuwa tumblers, drinking glasses, whiskey glasses, water glasses, cocktail glasses, vases, candle holders, ashtrays, bulb holders, bulb lighting, bulb fixtures.
The process starts by collecting or outsourcing the waste glass bottles, which are majorly liquor or wine bottles. Alcohol bottles are mostly used, but Dennis outlines that any glass bottle could be used. After getting the bottles, Dennis takes us through the transformation process where he makes a water or wine glass out of the waste bottle glass.
Hizi glasses with time tume end up kukuwa nazo with time juu sometimes hadi kuna watu wanakuja na bottles zao wanataka wakatiwe, so wakikam nazo sometimes wanazidrop, wanaona some good ones then wanaacha zao, so eventually watu tuna end up kukuwa na bottles hata kama hatuendi out kuzi outsource, but sana sana kwa outsource huenda kwa dump sites kwenda kuzi outsource for hours.
The 4-step process begins here, where the bottle is cut according to the required end product, creativity being critical in this. The second step occurs on another machine, where the rough edges remaining on the wanted part of the glass are removed. What follows is leveling the upper part of the glass to give it an even touch. The last stage is washing the glass. However, if it has stickers, it is dipped in water for some time to make it easy to scrub off the sticker before washing. This gleaming beautiful glass is now ready for sale.
So my number one clients ni clubs, hotels, personal people wenye wanataka for home use na watu wenye wanafanya deco. Hao wanne ndio my main client.
At Karim Glass Solutions, they have however simplified their art by creating a machine that reduces 4 machines needed to 1. Despite the venture creating jobs for 4 people, it has environmental benefits.
Environment ni upon us clean, so lazima ujitume like to make sure the environment is a safer place, because you see hizi bottles zilikuwa zina lay around huko, unapata wase wana have fun, wame drink. Kuna client wangu alikuja mmoja akaniambia alienda Masai Mara akapata simba inacheza na chupa, like just fun, na hiyo ni kitu mbaya sana.
According to Professor Peter Wangai, an environmental expert who lectures at the Kenyatta University under the Faculty of Environmental Studies, waste glass, including glass bottles, have detrimental environmental impacts.
Glass can be a big challenge when it comes to, landfills and land degradation, so to say, because we have said that it can take even 1 million years to degrade.
Aside from value addition to what many will term as waste, Professor Wangai explains that reusing of glass helps in energy conservation, since glass repurposing as the one carried out by Dennis uses less energy than is used in production of new glass from the required raw materials.
When we also reuse glasses, it means that we are also minimizing extraction of raw materials that make glass. And I said that we need silica, we need soda ash, we need limestone, and so we minimize on the extraction of these raw materials. Number 3, when we reuse glass, we also minimize carbon emissions. Why do we say so? Because in the process of making glass, there is a lot of CO2 emitted into the atmosphere. And today we know the big challenge of CO2 emissions. It is causing global warming, and by extension is causing climate change.
Professor Wangai also shows us some artistic work made from waste glass bottles by KU students as he affirms the need for creativity and art as a way to minimize waste load in our ecosystems. Wangai says waste is a resource.
That's why we say that waste is a resource. Waste is not supposed to be seen like something that is terrible. It is something that can be converted into products. It's something that can create employment. It's something that can contribute so much to the well-being of the society, economically, socially, and even environmentally.
In this venture, waste is not waste, as Dennis later sells the broken pieces of glass bottles, which he does not need, to glass recyclers who melt it to produce new items.
Once tumecut bottle, hii piece ya juu, kuna mtu kama anazi-collect, anazi-store, anazi-resell kwa mtu mwenye anaenda na melt, ana form new products.
Dennis Karemi urges the youth not to lose hope and be innovative in creating employment for themselves.
It is through this that Dennis and his colleagues have been able to create employment for themselves as they transform glass waste into useful items, including glasses, which can be used at the comfort of your home, even in a way as they help curb or combat climate change. Mutweri Eliud, KUTV.
Well, Kenya video gamers are joining forces to advocate for bringing to Africa more world-class gaming servers that provide greater stability and control. Apart from South Africa, many African countries lack servers, placing players at a disadvantage and discouraging many from joining esports.
Brian Dianga, an esports enthusiast in Nairobi, Kenya, developed a love for gaming at an early age. He's among professional gamers in Africa, pushing for the continent to have access to the same level of technology available to other players around the world.
I feel anyone can be in it, and we are in it actively, and I can say I started playing video games casually, and then moving forward we translated from just playing for fun to actually playing to earn.
According to a study conducted by game analytics company Newzo, there are 186 million gamers in sub-Saharan Africa. Despite the increasing number of the gamers in recent years, the continent has faced challenges in keeping pace with the growth in the competitive sector. Experts say economic inequality, weak internet connections, and a lack of high-performing gaming servers are hindering esports growth in Africa. During competitions, African gamers rely on South African servers, which host only a few games out of the hundreds available in the gaming industry.
Millisecond is the metric that's used now to measure the amount of time it will take from one device to reach the server of that particular game to that region and back. So the millisecond, as the distance increases, becomes much larger, and the more larger it is, the more difficult it is to actually play online.
In Kenya, a community of video gamers is working to unlock full potential of the gaming industry in Africa. In Nairobi, gamers play a combat esports game that does not have a server host in Africa. The winner of the event will qualify to participate in a tournament in Romania and play online with gamers from the Americas, Asia and Europe. It is a rare opportunity for most African gamers because of the continent's unreliable internet connections and limited gaming servers.
Outside of the continent, it's not easy to get a good connection with them, so the game is not going to be playable because of we're outside the continent. So now the only option we have left is now for us to travel to them or them to come to us, and then we can play. And that's why I'm really looking forward to this trip, so I can get to meet these players and play with them.
Video gamers say they're stepping away from their computers to lobby game publishers to provide servers and to encourage internet providers to help build esports infrastructure and grow the billion-dollar industry. Mohammed Yusuf for VA News, Nairobi.
Weeks after discovery of mass graves on land owned by cult leader Pastor Paul Mackenzie, some families are still searching for the news about their loved ones in Kenya. One family has been relying on accounts and clues from survivors to try to piece together the whereabouts of their lost brother. VOAs meet with the family from Mombasa and file this report.
Hakuna Mungu kama wewe.
At the home of James Tole Mombela, the family says a prayer for their brother Nelson Mombela. It has been months since they saw him. His brother James Mombela says his disappearance came after Nelson stopped taking his kids to school and began behaving oddly.
But that time, people didn't know about Mackenzie's teachings. Many would assume, but my brother kept saying that the world is ending and Jesus is coming back. We all deferred with him, including my mother and father.
Nelson Kimbichi Mombela quit his job and secretly moved his wife and 6 children to the Shakahola farm, owned by Pastor Paul Mackenzie. The religious cult leader was arrested in early May, accused of ordering his followers to starve themselves and their children to gain salvation.
It seems like they started training the kids slowly on how to fast. At one point, I asked my son if he was eating. He had lost a lot of weight.
When mass graves were discovered in Shakahola, James made his way there to search for his brother, sister-in-law, and their 6 children. What he learned was shocking.
One of the survivors told me about my niece Janet and his brother, called Sylvester, who was later baptized to be called Paul. He said that this family was said to be living very close to Pastor Paul Mackenzie, and unfortunately all 6 children, including their mother, had died.
Investigators are still trying to determine how many people lost their lives following the cult-like sect. So far, they have uncovered more than 300 bodies. They also found personal belongings, including this Bible belonging to a Mr. and Mrs. Nelson Kimbichi Mombela. Nelson's mother says she misses her son.
He was a very good boy. He was very quiet and very soft-spoken. In fact, his younger brother was louder and more talkative, but not him.
The number of missing people is still far greater than the bodies recovered, according to Hassan Musa of the Kenya Red Cross.
As Kenya Red Cross, we've registered 618 missing people. These are people reported by their family members that in one way or the other, they're either in Shakahola Forest or at the Malindi Sub-County Morgue.
The family said they gave DNA samples to investigators in the hopes it could help them identify the bodies of Nelson and his family. Saida Swale for VOA News, Mombasa, Kenya.
Well, sad story there. We hope that the family will find their loved one and answers they are seeking for. While we take yet another short break, when we come back, it's Sporty time.
We are all seeing the impacts of climate change. In Kenya, for example, the frequency of the floods is becoming more and worse. The amount of people and livestock we're losing.
The level we need to go is the level where the normal mwananchi and also the government stakeholders can uptake the solutions.
Those small acts multiplied by millions of us will help make a difference in the world at the end of the day.
It's just a slight behavior change that we need, and you find that it serves us a bit more than you put in. And that's the goal. We want to live a better world than we found. Because at the rate we are going, it's dire.
We will secure the planet for future generations.
to Children's Corner. Welcome to
Children's Corner.
Children's
Corner.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audiovisual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Welcome back. Now it's time to get the latest in the world of sports. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has officially opened the 2023 World Rally Championship at Uhuru Park in Nairobi. The WRC drivers headed to Kasarani for an entertainment showcasing before heading to Naivasha for a 3-day competition that kicks off tomorrow.
The arts and sports. Also, big thank
The 70th edition of the World Rally Championship has officially been flagged off by the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua at the Uhuru Park in Nairobi. The rally competition started with super special stage performance at Kasarani before heading to Naivasha for the final showdown.
The government joins the FIA in spreading the message of road safety and encouraging our road users to stay vigilant and obey traffic rules even as they follow the high adrenaline action for the next few days. And finally, I invite all of you to enjoy our tourism and the great hospitality of the Kenyan people. Asanteni sana na mujienjoy.
2023 WRC has attracted more than 18 international and Kenyan drivers, including the winners of the previous 2 editions, Kale Rovanpera and Sebastian Ogier, and Kenyan National Rally Champion Karan Patel. Jeremiah Wahome, Makrel Kemadi and Hamza Anwar will be representing Kenya in the Young Drivers Division. This year's WRC will have a high number of Kenyan female participants as it aims to improve inclusivity in the male-dominated sport. With the 3-day tournament set to kick off tomorrow, Kenyans have been urged to maintain high levels of road discipline as they enjoy the high adrenaline rally action. Hassan Yusuf, KUTV.
Well, from WRC to athletics. It was a bright start for Africa's fastest man, Ferdinand Omanyala, in the Athletics Kenya National Championship that kick off today at the Nyayo National Stadium with exciting performance in a match day 1 of the competition. Omanyala had no match in Heat 7 of the 100 meters race as he comfortably won a record 10.09 seconds. Hesbon Ochieng produced a masterclass in the 100 meters Heat 1 men race as he clocked 10.7 seconds. In the women's 5,000 meters race, Beatrice Chepkoech stole the show with a stellar performance in the Heat 2 in the semi-finals. Alright, we have come to the end of our bulletin tonight. Many thanks for tuning in. My name is AUMA Evans. Sammy OKELLO has been our sign language interpreter tonight. Well, until next time, do have a lovely night. Goodbye for now.